Hello.
Good afternoon, sir. Khan, sir. Professor Khan. Okay, our resource person is already there on the forum, so you can please go for the introduction part.
Ma'am, can I go? No one is there.
Yeah, please. Because somebody has been allotted now to give the
They're
introduction.
not responding, so I said.
Just wait for another few seconds and we will. Roll number 38. Roll number 38. Okay, Dr. Gangu, you can please continue.
Yeah. Very good afternoon, one and all. Very good afternoon to respected resource person, Professor Mustajib Khan, sir. I'm very happy to introduce Professor Mustajib Khan, sir. He is working as a professor in Department of English, a former director, a board of students development, UGC, HRDC, and foreign students cell, and Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwadi University, Aurangabad. And he can speak more than 4 languages: Urdu, English, Marathi, Hindi, and many languages. And he has completed MA from Marathwadi University, Aurangabad University itself. And he qualified set. He completed PhD also from the same university, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, on the topic of Badal Sarkar, Vijay Tendulkar, and Mahesh Datta, a theoretical discourse. And he is having more than 30 years of teaching experience. He taught to UG, PG also, and UG 13 years and PG 17 years. Total, he is having more than 30 years teaching experience. His specialization is Indian writing in English, drama, theatre, and film studies. And he completed major research projects of University Grants Commission, New Delhi, titled Towards Political Theatre, a thematic study of the Utpal Dutt and Savdat Hazmi and G.D. Das Pandey. He guided more than 7 students for PhD and 23 students with MPhil. People awarded, 72 students awarded, and 23 students awarded PhD and MPhil. And research and creative writing. He published more than 31 papers and 31 papers published in reputed journals and international journals and as well as national. 60 research papers presented at national and international seminars and conferences. And he wrote 3 plays and 2 act play of Marathi language also. He wrote different languages and he translated many things in Marathi. Utpal Dutt play as well as Manjula, Padma Bhushan, Lights of Out in Marathi. Like this, and he translated many things in his career. So it is a very good profile. I think all students like who are participating in this event, I think you will observe and how he grown from here to there. He developed in all the areas, and now I think you will enjoy with his lecture. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of all the participants as well as university, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
So welcome, sir. We are very glad to have you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Am I audible comfortably?
Ji, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Today, as we know it very well, that we are dealing with and we are discussing the specific course that we used to have uh, on Indian knowledge system, and I'm going to talk on a topic which is very close to my studies, which is very much close to my understanding. My topic is theatre skills through Indian knowledge system. Being a teacher of drama and film for last 30 years, I'm dealing with drama and theatre, and today I'm trying to explore how theatre is seen through Indian knowledge system, because theatre is not only an art form but also a kind of pedagogical tool. And I'm going to have a kind of discussion with you on this particular topic. With this lecture, our aim to is to reflect on how theatre, as we call it as natya, drama, as envisioned in the well-known dramaturgy that India produced, called as Natya Shastra, can help us as teachers to develop communication, empathy, and creative teaching strategies. Let me put in front of you that right from ancient period, or if you find out in the studies of anthropology, that the three civilizations of the world, they have their own tradition of drama and theater. Mesopotamian civilization, Greek civilization, and Indian civilization. We discussed across the world most with the Greek civilization and European kind of drama and theater across the academic studies. And only we talk about Indian theater with its very vital text, Natya Shastra, which was written by Bharat Muni, and this is considered as the foundational text in theater related skills. I know IKS has several other texts and traditions, but how we can find it out that what kind of skills that Natya Shastra taught to its followers, to its performers. This book is actually called as Pancham Ved, fifth Ved. It is an kind of an inclusive knowledge system. It is not restricted only to drama, but it is open for all kind of performing arts. And if you find it out, and if you try to understand it, that in ancient gurukuls and even in most of the temples, performance was a medium of learning values, languages, and collective wisdom. And as I have already mentioned it, that we, under the influence of Euro-American centric academic studies, focused on the development of theater, development of drama from Euro-American perspective. And that's why we are not able to understand that what kind of development that Indian dramaturgy has given to the world. And that's why I'm trying to talk about the teaching skills, or the skills, that theater skills that we can use in making our classrooms more enriched. Because these skills, as it is expected in the new education policy, that the curriculums may carry all the skills, and there should be certain skills to be incorporated in the curriculums for the sake of making studies close to the students, so that he can able to stand outside somewhere when he gets out of this whole process of taking some kind of education. And that's why my intention is, because nowadays, being a teacher in the university premises, I always get a kind of feedback from my fellow colleagues who are in colleges. They used to tell me, sir, after COVID, we face a lot of difficult situation that students are not turning to the classes. Students are interested in online mode, and they are not at all able to reach to the classes, and I can't make my the students to sit in the class. And that makes me to think, that makes me to contemplate a little bit, and that's how I come to an understanding that today theater techniques can enrich classrooms, and we, being the teachers, we need to have these skills to be shared with our students. Now, how these theater techniques can enrich, and that is how I'll move towards the theoretical foundation of it, that you can get it from the whole Indian knowledge system. We can make learning interactive and memorable because of these theater techniques. Theater techniques help us to develop voice, gesture, presence, and empathy. Because when we deal with the learners in the classroom, we never focused on the quality of voice that we always use. And I may say that we have not at all, at any level of our education, find any kind of source material that will make us to understand that you need to focus on your voice when you are dealing with your students. Because if we want to connect with the diverse learners, these few theatrical techniques are more important. Now, if you think, if you find it out, and this I'll put a question in front of you to ponder over, and you can even think about it, because I'm having only a session of one lecture, that is 1.5 hours. So I cannot have that much discussion with all of you, but I'll be happy if in the last 5-7 minutes we can have some kind of question and answers from your side. Now, to ponder over this question, I'm putting this question in front of you. If you can ponder over this question and try to find out some kind of answers to it, it will be helpful for us. That how many of you as a teachers feel your students sometimes lose attention in class? And what kind of strategies you hold to catch their attentions in your classrooms? Because most of the time students, and not only students, not only the learners, but the attention span after COVID is not that much which is before COVID. Because now you can divide this 21st century in two sections, a period before COVID and a period after COVID. Because an attention span before COVID is approximately 17 to 20 minutes, the attention span. And now after COVID, the attention span reduced to 7 to 10 minutes. After 7 minutes, you cannot concentrate mostly on what you are listening to. And I'm also well aware of this when I'm talking with you visually. That I know some of you have only started this, you joined it and you're doing your work and the sound is falling somewhere in the space. Few are there who are looking at that particular sound. Few of them are trying to understand what this man is trying to talk about. But those who are paying attention to listen what I am talking about, the attention span reduced to 7 to 10 minutes only. And especially students, they cannot concentrate after 7 minutes because of the excessive use of screen time. Now for this, what skills can we incorporate in our curriculum? What kind of skills we can incorporate into our day-to-day lectures, day-to-day teachings, so that our student can able to understand it, so that our students can able to get it very successfully, and then once again we can become part of making our own whole process of teaching once again very curious and enthusiastic. Now if you look at it, when I'm talking about all those skills to be incorporated in our learnings, we need to find out that theater plays a very crucial role into it. Now theater in IKS is considered as knowledge. theater as knowledge, having Natya Shastra for its context. Now, I'm not going to talk about the whole Natya Shastra and what Natya Shastra is and what Natya Shastra speaks about. I'm trying to find out the elements from Natya Shastra to make a relevant to the teaching, relevant to making our skills, our theatrical skills, making our classroom live. Now, somewhere in Natya Shastra, Bharat Muni describes drama as a Lokanukarna, that is imitation of the world, Lokanukarna, which is a tool to represent life for learning. And then when performing, Natya Shastra gives 4 dimensions of performances. Performance, what Natya Shastra called is Abhinay. I'm not putting, please understand this. I'm taking these words, these jargons, these words from Natya Shastra to make you to understand what Natya Shastra talks about, what Indian knowledge system has already discussed about all those things, and already it is existed, which is somehow we are not able to collect it, and that's why I'm pointing out that Natya Shastra speaks about 4 dimensions of performance. Because when you can say, sir, how it is performance? Because when a teacher presents himself into the classroom, he's performing, and if his performance is good, then the audience, they will sit there, the audience will get involved with him. And that's why the performance is most important. Now, what are those 4 dimensions of performance that can be used in drama performance on stage? And we are also standing on the same stage. Angik, Vachik, Aharya, and Satvik. These are the 4 dimensions of performance. Now, what is Angik? Angik is body. Vachik is voice, Aharya is costume, and Satvik is emotional. Now, when you have an Angik Abhinaya, gestures, what kind of gestures you use in a class to make your classroom most effective? And then what kind of the body language? Because naturally you have a question in your mind, sir, what is the relevance of these things to my teaching? How this can be a skill, theatrical skill? If you look at Angik, that is gesture, Angik is effective classroom tool. What kind of body language you use? Remember one thing, there is a specific area of studies in humanities, in Western paradigms, that is called as kinesics. Kinesics is the study of body language. And what general communication skill talks about, that there is 20% verbal communication and 80% non-verbal communication. That means when we try to speak into the classroom, when we are dealing with the students into the classroom, we are using 20% of verbal communication and 80% of communication is through our body. And this is most important for a teacher to understand, that how a body is being used, its language is being giving a kind of message to the student, and even the teacher can understand whether he is receptive, whether he is reaching to the students or not. Because this skill of Angik, if you understand this skill of Angik, you can able to know and you can able to find it out that how effective your classroom can become because of the understanding of the body language. That is a very detailed kind of discussion you can have with the kinesics, and detailed kind of discussion with how body speaks and how body language makes you to understand that whether you are reaching to the audiences or not, whether you are reaching to your students or not. The second most interesting thing is Vachik. What I said is Vachik. Vachik Abhinay means voice modulation. If I ask you a very simple thing, that when we were kids, or even today, when you see a mother is making her own child to sleep, she's singing lullaby. And if you say that when your mother sings a lullaby, when a mother sings a lullaby, she is not a good singer. She is not what you call as a Asha Bhosle or Lata Mangeshkar or Kavita Krishnamurti or Shreya Ghoshal. But still, the child sleeps. So is it the voice of that lady makes the child to sleep, or whether the words used into that lullaby, that song, makes the child to sleep? What makes the child to sleep? If you can analyze that, and if you analyze it, you will find out that the child is sleeping not because of the words, not because of the sound of that mother, voice of that mother, but this child is sleeping because of the monotonous quality of voice used in lullaby. Monotonal voice modulation. If your voice modulation is monotonous, then surely the student is started to yawn in the classroom. The student is trying to sleep in the classroom. And this voice modulation brings the clarity that what kind of words you are using. Because teacher needs to use words very properly. He should have a rhythm in explanation. If there is a rhythm, and please understand, every language has its own rhythm. And if we don't understand the rhythm of the language, then naturally we are not reaching to the receptor. We are not reaching to the learner. We are not reaching to the student or audience. And that's why you need to have a kind of understanding of Vachik Abhinay. That skill you need to have with you, that need to incorporate in day-to-day teaching, in day-to-day classroom delivery. Then I talked about the third form of performance, that dimension of performance that Natya Shastra speak is aharya, that is costume or props. What kind of things we are using? Which visual aids we are using? Are we using board chalk? We are using some projector. We are using smart board. And there are certain classroom aesthetics also. So the classroom aesthetic needs to design in such a way that the student should able to sit there. And this is a skill. Please understand this, my friends. I'm not saying that the props in the classroom, they make change. This skill need to be incorporated in making our students to close to us, by bringing the students back to the colleges, back to the classrooms. And these theatre skills, which have already mentioned in Indian knowledge system, we need to once again re-establish, re-understand, and reformulate once again into it. And that's why there's a typical classroom aesthetics. Now, you a few months back, you have heard a news, or you read a news in Kerala that few of the Kerala schools have started to change the sitting styles in schools. They are not having you can say queue. They are not allowing any queue type, or are making the students to sit on first bench and last bench. The concept of last bench, or the concept of back bench, they want to take away from the classroom. That's why they have changed the classroom aesthetics. and they put the benches in a semicircular way. So everybody is sitting at the same position. There is no discrimination that a brilliant student should sit in the front row and the dull student should sit in the back row, or the one who is very adamant and naughty should sit at the back of the classroom, and so that he can be punished very comfortably. So this classroom aesthetics most of the time make the students to feel inferior, and that's why the aesthetics has been changed. And that's what we need to understand, this skill from Natya Shastra, that Aharya. And Satvik, as I said, emotional authenticity that you need to have. A sincerity of teacher is the most important aspect, that is connecting his students emotionally. He is having a passion for subject, and your passion is known to students the way you modulate your voice, the way you use your tone, the way you try to explain that thing. And the students are the best judges of every teacher. They can very easily understand that. And that's why theatrical skills, these theatrical skills can change the whole pedagogical tools and pedagogy of teaching into the classroom. Yeah, any problem?
No, sir.
Yeah. Now, what Natya Shastra speaks? Natya Shastra speaks that with the help of these 4 dimensions of performance, there should be a kind of connectivity that the audience should have. And for that, they say that there is a rasa theory. And the rasa, Navarasa, which we call it in our Indian tradition, Navarasa, 9 rasas are there, of which a teacher must awaken curiosity, adbhutaras, compassion, karuna, and even humor, hasyaras, to engage the students. Usually we teachers are not at all familiar with this theatrical skill that Natya Shastra very seriously discusses about. And because not only it is related with Natya Shastra, but it is also related with the kind of writings that you find it out in the traditions of Indian knowledge system, where Nandikeswara or Vishwanath Kaviraja or Anandavardhan, or you can say most of the scripts that have written during the ancient period, during the Indian knowledge progression, we have not even aware of what kind of texts that are there, which makes our own classroom teaching get away from the kind of classroom teaching that we have experienced because of this whole Euro-American pattern of dealing with the students. Because every teaching and every classroom has its own kind of habitat and this culture which contributes more into it. We need to focus on that kind of culture that our students are coming from, and that's why we are making our students to shift from their typical Indian culture of their family, taking immediately to them to a kind of an Euro-American culture where the student is supposed to sit in a class where there is a kind of I should not use the word, but there is a kind of a discrimination there, and student is sitting according to their grades, according to their heights, and they are making a discrimination between the students. And then we are applying all the kind of Euro-American pedagogical tools to make the students to understand what we are teaching with, but we have not focused on what kind of Indian habitat or Indian environment and Indian teaching or Indian texts can have, the kind of knowledge system that they can develop. So there are so many things that we can ponder over. Even you can think. Even you can think. But when I'm telling about rasa theory, when I'm talking about the 4 dimensions of Natya Shastra, you can recall that which one was your boring lecture where students felt that they have exhausted, or which one is your memorable lecture which makes you to feel that I delivered such a beautiful lecture that I am getting hungry after that lecture. And what kind of rasa you have added into it, whether it is Adbhut, whether it is Karun, or whether it is Hasya, what kind of rasa we have added to our students' understanding. And this is what theatrical skills are there. Now I'll point out very minutely, because I have already, because I got a time of 90 minutes or so I'm trying to put all those things within 80-85 minutes, and then you can have your queries and doubts. The theatrical skills there are various interesting theatrical skills for teachers, as you will find out Natya Shastra has given, and you have to find it out. Otherwise, you can say Natya Shastra is basically made for performing arts, and how you are connecting this performing arts text to teaching skills, and how you are finding out the skills. This is what we need to work out very seriously, that how you can able to find out the theatrical skills from your own text which talks about performance across, and Natya Shastra is not restricted to drama only. Natya Shastra is talking about all kinds of performance, and that's why you will find out in the 36 chapters of Natya Shastra is dealing with your gestures, what kind of gestures you should use. And even we are not at all interested to understand what kind of gestures we are using while we are dealing with the classroom, while we are dealing in the classroom, or what kind of voice I am using. What is my speech? What is my speech? Please understand what I'm saying, that there should be a clear articulation of the sounds. I'm speaking with you, I'm talking with you. If my sound, if my voice, if my word is not clear enough, then there is going to be a kind of fatigue in the classroom. Students will feel bored because your voice is not reaching to it, and then it is, and you cannot say that my voice is that much and I cannot increase my sound, or I'm not able to raise my sound. But we have to look after that particular point, that your voice should have a very clear articulation, and it should reach to the last student sitting in your classroom. And that's why Vachik Abhinaya, that the theater talks about, Indian theater especially talks about, because I'll tell you what is the connection of this Vachik or voice and speech to the students. In Gurukul system, when the students are trying to learn something from the teachers, gurus, the guru is not going into the class for 1 hour and 50 minutes and trying to show something and writing on the board and telling the students to take down the notes and study it and give examination and get the certificate and get out of the school. He is trying to give a kind of training to the students. And this skill of training, now we have in new education policy, we have on-job training, and we are, according to me, it's my own personal, you can say, understanding of that particular, that we are throwing our responsibility on someone's shoulder. We are shifting our responsibility on someone's shoulder, that we tell that, okay, you go and take an on-job training there. On-job training is for him. Once you train him, then he can go and do that on-job training. But are we training to the student? We are not training to the student. And then please remember, in the whole Gurukul system, in Indian knowledge system, the teaching is not for making that student to mug it up, but it is a complete kind of a training for understanding the life that he is going to face in future. And for that, they are trying to train him in breathing. And for that, we have a very interesting Patanjali's yoga, breathing. They're training him breathing, because when you speak, and if you are a teacher of language, you know it very well, that the whole language has all the languages have their own kind of pronunciations, and they have their own kind of phonology, and the whole method of studying the pronunciation of every language, because every language has its own rhythm. If I'm speaking in Marathi, I should have my own rhythm of Marathi. If I'm speaking in Urdu, I should have my own pronunciation of Urdu. I can understand what exactly the Urdu pronunciation is all about. And if I'm speaking English, I should have a proper pronunciation of the word. I'm not insisting as a teacher of English that I should have a British pronunciation or American pronunciation, but my pronunciation should be so clear that the person who is listening, he should understand that what type of English I'm speaking. And that's why I need to train my students in breathing. Because why I'm insisting on breathing? Breathing, because when you speak, there is no spatial system that has been part of your anatomy. In human anatomy, you will find out there is no spatial system for speaking. Tongue is not meant to speak. Every animal is having tongue. So do you think that every animal is speaking? No. Tongue's primary work is to test. It is a test bud. It will test the thing, what you are eating. And it will add saliva by shifting your food into one direction to other direction, and trying to mix the saliva and trying to make it comfortable before entering into the stomach. That is the primary role of your tongue. But human being has changed it for other purpose. Human being used it for speaking. And when you are speaking, you are throwing your breathe. When you are throwing your air out from your lungs, your tongue is giving shape to those air that is getting out of your mouth, and accordingly your tongue gives shape to that air which is coming out of your mouth, and so that we can say these are the words have been made. So if we don't train our students, or if we don't train ourselves for breathing, then we are not able to speak with a clear tone, with clear sound, with clear pronunciation. And that's why we need to have a training in breathing. That is what you can say in Gurukuls, the gurus used to make the students to chant Sanskrit shlokas. Vedic chanting is there. I'm not saying you have to do this Vedic chanting in the class, but you have to train the students with particular kind of sounds. And this is what this is what we can say a connection with ancient kind of a teaching methods. This will develop a kind of a memory. This will develop a kind of an intonation, that what intonation I should follow when I'm speaking with. Because intonation is one of the most important aspect in teaching in any classroom. We need to make our students to understand that when I'm speaking with my teacher, I'm having my tone, different tone. When I'm speaking to a vendor outside in the market, I have a different tone. When I'm speaking to my elders, I have a different tone. When I am dealing with any formal discussions, I have a different tone. When I'm talking with my friend, I'm having a different tone. That means I'm working very much in day-to-day life with intonation. And if I'm not able to make my student to understand this intonation through my speech, how the student can able to understand it? And that's why we need to have a skill to make our students to understand rhythm, how to project that rhythm, and how to get a clarity in our voice. That is what Vachik Abhinaya, that is what the actor is trained for. Actor is trained for. And if being a teacher, if we encourage to vary the tone while explaining the difficult concepts, for example, rising tone for questions, you can use pause for showing your emphasis. These are the skills that we need to use while teaching in a classroom. We had to add into our curriculum that when we are trying to deliver, when we are trying to meet our students, we need to have all these kinds of intonation that we need to. And remember one thing, once you can able to make your students to understand what is exact intonation and how there is a kind of rhythm and how the clarity of sound is there, I will say you, my friends, that there is a lot of opportunities for most of the students to get a very good job in all these FM studios as RJs, radio jockeys. So voice Vachik Abhinaya, which Natya Shastra speaks, is the most interesting, most important skill that can be added into our curriculum for the sake of taking from Indian knowledge system. Then the second one, which I said, it's Angik Abhinaya. Now, what I said before, that 80% of our communication is non-verbal. Body speaks before words. Your face speaks before words. And please understand, student, notice your posture. Student, notice your movement, your hand gestures, that what kind of gestures you are using. What kind of postures you are using. What kind of movement you are taking into your classroom. And if we can incorporate these theater skills into teaching methods, naturally our class is going to get more alive. Because your expressions, when you are being a teacher of literature, I say that the teachers of literature, especially teachers of humanities, especially, they need to think on this skill very seriously. Because it is not that you are turning your back to the students and writing something on the board and you're trying to show something on the smart board and you are not looking at the students. The student will understand the teacher is not that much confident, and that is what kinesics also talks about. So students, notice your posture, that what kind of posture you are taking. And what Bharat Muni says in Natya Shastra, that you should have to understand different mudras, the facial expressions. How many different facial expressions you can have. And please remember one thing, my dear teachers, my dear fellow colleagues, friends, that these mudras are now being used very successfully by the software makers, by making a different kind of emojis. Emojis, nowadays you see there are a lot of emojis are there. These emojis are nothing but a part of mudras, different mudras. What your gesture talks about, what your hand gesture talks about. If you are explaining that what it means by when you are making a gesture of acceptance, when you are making a gesture of good or a gesture of bad, or when you are making a gesture of angry of certain things, this speaks more. And that's why we need to adopt, we need to have a teaching posture. That is, we have to take it from Angik Abhinaya of Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra. What is teaching posture? Open arms, upright spine. Most of the time teachers are showing that they are not interested in dealing with certain things, so they have a closed posture. And they are not making, the teachers are not encouraging consciously to use gesture for explanation. Whatever subject you may teach, whatever subjects you are of, you need to use your gestures for your explanations, for explaining certain concept, for explaining certain terms. And if we are not able to use those gestures consciously, the students are not at all getting involved into what you are saying. Whether you are teaching science, whether you are teaching commerce management, whether you are teaching humanities, whether you are teaching any interdisciplinary studies, you need to understand, and that is what a teacher need to do consciously. That what Bharat Muni is talking about, that Angik Abhinaya always make the audience to get attracted towards and to make involved with the kind of actor that is performing there on the stage. And please understand that we are the actors performing in front of the audience called students and trying to make them to understand certain things. If you don't feel like that, if you feel that I am a teacher and I am having some kind of authority and power in my hands, then I'm sorry to say that the students will not able to come close with us. And that is what happens most of the time, that we haven't understood what kind of skills that the Indian knowledge system has already within itself, which we need to decipher and which we need to understand it very carefully. Now, let us come to the third very interesting thing. Satvik Abhinay, that is what Natya Shastra speaks about. Now you may say, sir, what kind of Satvik Abhinay, what kind of costume and props that you are telling, that we need to make up ourselves, we need to wear costumes? Friends, please understand. Students connect with sincerity more than the information alone. Because today there is explosion of information and the student is more aware than us about the explosion of information. So what kind of lecture are we delivering? Are we delivering a lecture which is having only a lot of information, which is very easily accessible for the student on Google? Our generation is restricted to Google only. Now the coming generation is well aware of what artificial intelligence can do. Now, do you think that we can, if we adopt this method of informing students of certain things only into the classroom, will we feel that the students are really able to understand that? Students, as I said it, that what Bharat Muni is talking about, that Satvik Abhinaya always becomes a channel for an appropriate kind of emotions. That when you are using certain tools, use of that tool shows your sincerity, that how sincerely you have worked on that. Otherwise, student is well aware of the kind of information that is available. Thousands and thousands of pages are available on internet of our own subjects. You can get very interesting lectures on YouTube by eminent scientists, eminent scholars, eminent philosophers across the world. Then why he should sit with you? Why he should come to you and ask you, sir, please deliver a lecture of 50 minutes or 1 hour to me in my classroom? What Bharat Muni is talking about, what he wrote in Natya Shastra, that Satvik Abhinaya always connects with emotions. So we need to connect it with emotions. If we are not connecting with emotions, if you are not making it close to them, and then don't tell me, sir, I'm a teacher of science, I'm a teacher of physics, how can I add emotions into it? Or don't tell me, sir, I'm a teacher of chemistry, how can I add emotions into it? There are so many things that you can add into. That is what you need to work on. That is what you need to search on. Very unfortunate that we have not searched it from our own roots. Please look at our own understanding, that when I'm talking about Am I showing curiosity in my explanation? Am I showing an enthusiasm about a kind of a theorem that I am going to present in front of the student? Although I know that theorem very well. I have done my research on that theorem. I am a scholar of that theorem across the world. But am I developing a kind of a curiosity with the students so that they can able to get close to that particular theorem? Am I showing any enthusiasm about a kind of a poem that I am going to teach into the classroom so that the students feel that yes, it is not available on internet, it is not available on any website. This is what my teacher used to do that, and this is what Satvik Abhinaya is all about, because you have to develop curiosity. Most of the times, and this is what we have also experienced, when we were the students, we used to note down, instead of teacher's lecture, we used to note down that how many times our teacher used a word. For example, our teacher used to use a sentence called, this is very important. So how many times in a lecture of 50 minutes or 1 hour, he used that sentence, this is very important. There are certain specific words that most of us use time and again. We need to focus on that. Am I using one sentence repeatedly? Because repetition most of the time creates a kind of boredom, drops the energy. If you're repeating the same thing again and again, you're telling the same thing again and again. Why someone should understand? That's why if you see in a drama, and that's why being a teacher of drama, I'm saying you that when Samuel Beckett wrote a play called Waiting for Godot, the tagline of that play is nothing happens in the play. Kind of absurd situation Samuel Beckett has posed into that particular play. Because everybody in the routine life doing the same thing repeatedly. You are doing the same thing again and again. And that's why you need some kind of change. And that's why we need to have a kind of presence of teacher. That is what Natya Shastra has already mentioned, that theatrical skill that we have given to the world, that we should have an emotional connection. Please understand, being a very sincere student of theatre and drama, I may say that here we are little bit different from European kind of theatre. European kind of theatre makes a distance between the audience and the performer. They detach. And what Badal Sarkar, on which I have done my research, Badal Sarkar said that our theatres, colonial theatres, they are absolutely based on finance, money. The person who pays more, he can sit close to the stage. The person who pays less has to sit back. And that's why you can't connect. And that's why I said that the change which some schools in Kerala did, that they made the sitting position semicircular, so that there should not be discrimination, feeling that I am the backbencher. Because most of the time, I can say very confidently that most of the teachers are backbenchers during their students' life. Because the front bencher is somewhere in IAS or something in a big position, and we are the backbenchers. So we know how to teach and how to get bored, and that's why we became teachers. But Satvik Abhinaya, that is a part of Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra, can be adopted as one of the most prominent skill for making our classroom live. Now, please understand, theatre as a cultural and social pedagogy. In ancient India, theatre carried history, science, moral teaching to illiterate audience. Now, if you minutely see that Bharat Muni in his Natya Shastra mentioned that there are two types of performers: Lokadharmi, Natya Dharmi. Natya Dharmi is related with the performance that has to take place for a specific kind of audiences inside the temple, and Lokadharmi is for the common masses. Natya Dharmi is for the class, Lokadharmi is for the mass, and Lokadharmi is very much close to the heart of the people. And for that we have a complete folk tradition in Indian theatrical system. Tamasha, Yakshagan, Bhavai, Dashavatar, Ramalila, Garba, all these things, forget it that today we made it a very religious and fanatically we behave, and nowadays we are behaving so fanatically that we are not allowing any other person of other religion to play these particular things. But actually in whole Indian community, in our knowledge system, this is a kind of a community knowledge that has to percolate amongst the community through these folk theaters. It is not a mere entertainment, please understand, my friends. Tamasha or Yakshagan or Bhavai or Dashavatar or Ram Leela or Garba, these are not at all a source of entertainment. Apart from entertainment, it is a perfect amalgamation of education and ethics. It is a community learning, community coming together and trying to learn certain things. Our culture has always encouraged community learning. And that's why so much of illiterate people, how they can able to, they have not read Ramayana, they have not read Mahabharata, they can't read it. If you go back into our ancient period, if you go back to our history and find it out, that whether all the people can able to read that. No, but all the people know about Ramayana and Mahabharata. How? Because of these folk performances, because folk performances, the theatre carried history with them. The theatre carried science with them. Theatre tried to teach them moral lessons to all these illiterate audience, to make all these illiterate audience to understand that what kind of history, what kind of mythology, what kind of science, what kind of moral teachings we are having with us. And that's why Indian theatre is nothing but a complete pedagogy, cultural and social pedagogy. And as a teacher, I may say we can borrow all these methods: storytelling with drama, chanting and rhythming to teach the language, improvisation to discuss social issues. And this is the more responsibility lies on the shoulders of teachers of humanities and social sciences. What kind of things I'm dealing with my students? Try to use that. It can be very, very good experiment. That when you're talking about eclipses, solar eclipse or lunar eclipse that we have experienced a couple of days back. Can we form groups of 3-4 students and to each group we can give 2 minutes classroom scene and explaining a topic through the way of performance, asking them that photosynthesis can be in the form of dialogue. Someone can become sun, someone can become plant, someone can become water, and can have an understanding of photosynthesis. You may say, sir, you are talking about, I am teaching to the students of schools, you are teaching to the students of graduation and post-graduation. So can I apply that? But if you are making your class live, you are making your students to come on the stage and try to do something, apply these theatrical skills to the students in the classroom, so that you can able to have a kind of dialogue, reflections on ease and effectiveness. Students can able to deal with that. If I'm teaching certain theorems of physics, if I'm teaching certain theories from any stream of science, or if I'm teaching something, why can't we personify that and make the students to understand that thing with personification? Because these theatrical skills can help the students to understand the thing for the lifetime rather than for the sake of examination only. And that's why if you see very carefully, there are absolutely a contemporary relevance, because the big question mark that always comes in front of our teachers, that when a topic like IKS, Indian knowledge system, comes in front of us, we have a big question mark that are we going to teach only the Vedas and we are going to teach the Hindu mythology or orthodox Hindu theology, and only we can have all those things into our studies, and people like us, we are always trying to oppose, saying that how can we teach the things with these particular elements. My dear friends, Indian knowledge system is not at all related with any kind of Hindu theology or any religious kind of attention. It has nothing to do with any kind of religious attention. And let me put in front of you very boldly, I'm very confidently I'm saying this, that most of the Indian festivals nowadays, unfortunately, why we became so fanatic, why we became so orthodox. Orthodox is a very good word. Why we became fanatic, I don't know. But if you see the Indian festivals, whether it is a festival of colors called Holi or Rang Panchami, or whether it is Diwali, whether it is Makar Sankrant or Pongal, all these cultures, Lohri, all these cultures are related with the cultures of that land, not of any religion. Because you have a very good crop, very beautiful crop, dancing with the rhythm of the air into your field, you feel happy at that time. And because you feel happy, you try to make everybody happy. So you have a festival like Onam, you have a festival like Lohri, you have a festival like Sankrant. The sun is shifting from one position to another position, and that makes you to feel the changes in the season. So why not you try to make your body adjustable to that particular season, and for that you have to eat certain things, and for that you have to prepare certain food. That is what a cultural kind of understanding for the people living in this particular land. It has nothing to do with any kind of religion. But unfortunately, when we say that Indian knowledge system, we always think that it is related with only one particular religion. That is the most difficult task, to convince the intellectuals that it is not at all related with any kind of religion. Let it be. I diverted it. Maybe it is Sattvic. Now, what kind of contemporary relevance that you will find out applied theatre in teaching? Friends, please understand. Theatre enriches us with pedagogy. What kind of pedagogy? Interactive methods. We need to replace it with rote learnings. What we did, we always try to have a kind of rote learning. I'm talking and you have to listen. Actually, your classroom is the most democratic space in the world. The most democratic space in the world. You are making your students to speak. You are allowing your students to have a dissent on certain things. Unfortunately, we are not at all ready to accept the dissent in our society itself. So we are not allowing it in our classroom also. Otherwise, we are of the tradition where we allowed Charvak to say that there is no God. We are of that tradition where we rejected. We rejected the popular notion, majoritarian notion. And that's why we need to understand that theater enriches the pedagogy. There are certain interactive methods that we need to adapt. We need to make the students to understand the things from its base. The very interesting thing that theater enriches is communication. Because a teacher's job is to speak, a teacher's job is to make the things easy for the students, a teacher's job is to make the students understand the difficult things that he is going to face. It is not the teacher's job to train the student for examination only. And for that, we need to have a communication. What happens with communication? When somebody says communication, we say that, sir, we don't have communication skills. Why you need a communication skill? Teacher is always a good communicator. Because teacher projects authority over certain words, authority over certain topics, authority over certain kind of topics that he is very much related with. And when you talk about the topic which is close to your heart, naturally you have a warmth regarding to that topic. And if you are warm in dealing with that topic, naturally you are getting close to the students. The kind of theatrical skills that Natya Shastra has discussed in detail in that book, which if you try to apply it in your classroom, because classroom is also a kind of performance. The third very, very interesting thing that theater enriches is a kind of a classroom discipline. Unfortunately, we are the teachers who never use humor in the class, because if student laughs, then we feel somehow defeated. We need to make the students to understand how you can make your topic so close to him, because you need to have some kind of humor regarding it. You should be the part of student by getting close to them. Our classrooms are following a typical proscenium arch. Proscenium arch is a particular theatrical term. That the colonial theaters are following the proscenium arch. There is a curtain, there is a fourth wall, and audience are allowed to see beyond the fourth wall. That's why the fourth wall is invisible, and the fourth wall is that arch where the curtain is there, and the curtain is open and you start to watch the play performance. And during that performance, there is a gap between the audience and the performer. So the performer is not getting close to the audience. There is a specific gap. And look at our classrooms also. We have a gap between our listeners and we. We need to reduce that gap by getting involved with the students. That is what theater is always all about. There should be a kind of what I used to say, that you need to preserve your culture, introduce students certain important elements through different kinds of performance. You can show them that how this performance is all about, how this performance makes the people to understand that particular term. There are so many kinds of things available. But what happens, we are not at all making our students to get close to it. You can have street plays for environmental awareness. You can have a role play in history and civic classes. You can use expressions, bhava, in teaching literature. With that way, you can apply the theatrical tools, theatrical skills in making the classroom alive. That's why if you say that theater in Indian knowledge system is not only about acting, it is about living knowledge with body, with speech, and most important thing is the spirit. As a teachers, as I have said it, that we too are performers. Every day we perform. Every day we perform. Our classroom is our stage. Our students are our audience. But our aim is not to entertain them, but to transform them. And these theatrical skills, which we need to have in our classroom, because if we try to look at that how the ancient Indian dramaturgies have made the life more lively, close to your emotions, make you to understand and to develop different kind of techniques across, we need to know it very well. In 10th century, see, Nandikeswara has written Abhinay Darpan. This Abhinay Darpan is paired with Natya Shastra's dance drama tradition. But if you try to find it out, that Nandikeswara has spoken about how to use eye movements, how to use body language, and these are the very important skills that we need to have for us. Or in Sahitya Darpan, which Vishwanath Kaviraj in 14th century has developed and explains that how emotions are aroused, how you can transform an understanding. Or Anand Vardhana's very famous theory of Dvanya Lok, where he speaks about tone. Look at every aspect. A book of at least 500 pages have been written by Indian scholars, but unknowingly we don't know all those things, and this is very sad part of it. Dvanya Lok talks about the kind of the tone you should use. What are the layered meanings that is having in a deeper sense? Or you can see very interesting medieval manuals that have been published. There is Nataka Lakshana Ratnakosh or Nataka Lakshana Ratnamala. These are the practical guides on writing a play, on staging and performing a play. Or you can have a very interesting thing that we have so many rich regional and folk performance manuals available for us. If there are participants from Kerala, there is Kudiyattam and Kathakali manuals. If you are from Karnataka, you can find out Yakshagan. There is very large tradition of Bhakti and Sufi performances in western and north part of India. Indian knowledge system has always encouraged the skills to be part of everybody's teaching. That's why when I try to conclude what I'm saying, because I'm very much interested in having questions from your side, so that we can have at least some kind of interaction with each other. Otherwise, in this dark world, I'm speaking without any faces. I don't know whether my fellow teacher colleagues are listening or not, or they are sleeping because it is a lecture after lunch. So naturally, somebody is taking a very nice nap. And
no, no, sir, no. We are listening, sir. We are following you.
No, I'm not saying that you are not doing it, but it is a common thing that happens most of the time. That's why I'm trying to conclude it, and so that we can open for question and answers. That if you follow, if you understand what Indian theatrical works talks about in ancient Indian theatrical text, which I have mentioned so many names. That speaks about voice and speech. They speak about gesture and expressions. They speak about emotional connections. They speak about rhythm and music. They speak about mind and body discipline. And if you follow all those things, I think that our classroom is going to get once again lively classroom. And once again, we are trying to experiment. We are trying to give something different to our students, which they are lagging and which they are very much in love for, because they are being exploded to such a world where all these things are missing. Nobody is trying to give them all those things, and that's why they are trying to get it from the other sources which are not good for their health, and when we are making them to move on some other path. And that's why, if we can use these techniques from our own ancient text, we can develop those techniques, skills from our own ancient text, and if we incorporate those skills into our curriculum, naturally we are not at all giving any religious education to the students, but we are making once again our rich culture back, and we are taking ourselves back to the roots, which is one of the most important strategies in post-colonial societies. I stop here. We have again 8 to 9 minutes in our hands. So if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, if you want to add something into my lecture, you're open to do that. Please raise your hands so that we
Sir,
can able to find
sir,
out what
thank
do
you
you
for
have.
the insightful lecture, sir.
Please.
Sir, thank you for the insightful lecture.
Yeah.
Sir, when you talked about the Satvika Abhinaya,
Yeah.
I think it's more or less related to the emotional connection with the
Yes.
students,
Yes.
as well as the topic that we teach.
Yes.
Sir, my question is, we teach different levels of students. For example, there would be PG students, there would be degree students, and also students coming from different strata of society. For example, sir, I work in a rural area college. So the students are more or less, they are not so academic in a sense.
Yes.
And they
Yes.
love sports, arts, and such kind of fun activities.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's very difficult to communicate with the students. Or when we become too academic, students feel some kind of boredom in the class.
Naturally.
So, sir, what are the ways in which this is a simple question, sir? But what are the ways in which we can kindle a kind of an academic consciousness to those students?
Naturally, very good, very nice. Because what I said when I'm talking about Satvika Abhinaya, I said that you need to connect student with sincerity rather than the information. And what happens with us, that although the students are coming from different strata, and they are from different classes, the students are from PG, UG, of different backgrounds, it doesn't matter. But what kind of things you are dealing with the student, you need to get close to him by understanding what kind of things that is close to that student. For example, if there is a group of a student who's coming from very interior part, and they have to walk for 1 and 2 kilometers, and then they are going to get bus, and then they are reaching to the college, and once again going back to their house, they have to walk for 2 kilometers. For those students, your information is not sufficient. Your emotional connect with that student, your sincerity to tell him that the way you come to get the education here into this long place, you are going to get education information anywhere. But what I am trying to make you connect with the text, with the thing, that this is related with your day-to-day activity, and try to find out and try to connect that theorem, that lecture, that topic close to their lives, close to their culture, close to their daily movement, close to their daily habits, so that they can able to relate that topic with their day-to-day life, and that makes them to get connected very easily with that particular topic. What happens with that, we are not at all aware to talk the students. And this is what happens most of the time, being a teacher of graduate and postgraduate studies, that what we think that the student knows everything. Nah, the student, although he knows everything, he is not ready to connect with you. Your basic role is to connect. And if you can able to connect him, how to connect him? If you are not getting close to his own livelihood, if you are not getting close to what he always thinks, if you are not connecting him with the kind of thing that he's facing in his day-to-day life, the issues and problems, and I'm trying to connect my theory, I'm trying to connect my experiment, I'm trying to connect my writings, I'm trying to connect my academic topic to that life of that student, what he's, the way he's facing. And please understand what always theater used to say, that all the audiences are not the same watching the performance, but every audience can get connect to that that plot can connect to that acting of that actor, can connect to the way the actor is delivering that particular statement. It is not common for it is not connected to all the audiences sitting into the theater, but it is connecting each and every person feeling. He's taking it from his own perception. So I have to formulate such type of incidents taken from, because when you get a list of the students that are sitting into your classroom, it is usually a common practice, but we lost that practice, that we need to find out what type of students are sitting there. Unfortunately, instead of understanding the types of student, we are trying to find out the caste of the student while getting the list of the student, rather than what type of student is sitting in my class, which rural part he belongs to, which area he belongs to, and what kind of attention that he is paying to get the things done. And if the teacher can able to, when he get a list of the student, when a teacher can able to identify those issues, then it will be easy for him to attach his, because you are expert in your topic, and that's why you are teacher. You have completed your postgraduate, you have completed your research, you know your topic very well than other person. So you have to connect it, you have to link it with the issue that the student is facing in his day-to-day life, that can make the student to get close to you, whether the student belong to any social background or any strata that he comes from. I hope that I have answered you.
Thank you, sir. I have another question. Sir, in Kerala, now we have implemented the 4-year undergraduate program. So what happened after implementing the FIUGP program was that the classroom strength was reduced. We have to teach to 2 or 3 students for a course. So that's becoming sometimes class, from the teacher's perspective, the class is not what was supposed to be in the past. So can you give some suggestions to such a kind of a, how we should address, small audiences? It's not the class of 30 or 40 students. Now we have only 2 or 3 students, maximum 10 students for a course, etc. So the teaching practice is also getting very difficult because of the, the audience is reduced.
What I say, I'm a person of a theater. I will tell you very frankly. For a performer, if there is only one person sitting and watching his performance, he has to perform with the same passion. And as a teacher, if you are teaching, whether there is a 1 student or 3 students or 10 students, you have to perform with the same passion so that the student can convey. Remember one thing, students are very brilliant. Students are very brilliant. We underestimate students most of the time. Students know that what type of teacher he is and how he is dealing with the topic, whether he is getting so sincerely connecting to me or not. And there's a mouth publicity by the students that, look, this teacher teaches, although we 2 are sitting in the class, but the way he teaches, I can understand everything. So it goes to the students slowly, and naturally they are coming. If you are saying that, oh, you are 2 students, I'm not sitting, I'm not getting, ask all 3 students to come into the class, then I'll teach. Then that message passes on the students that the teacher is not interested. And that's why if you are having very less number of students in the class, it doesn't matter. Your performance should not be weak. Your performance should not be weak. And if your performance is weak, and please understand that every teacher is a performer. Every teacher is a performer. So we need to have a performance. You cannot say my performance is I cannot perform in front of one audience. We have to perform. And that will naturally increase. And
what I was saying was that experience of teaching has changed a lot.
Naturally, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I said that you have to follow these you have to understand. My intention is not to make you familiar with what is happening in Natya Shastra or what is Natya Shastra saying. My intention is telling that these skills which has already been implemented there and which has been successfully made our generations to understand the things which are not familiar to them. Why can't we adopt those things to make our students to understand certain things?
Sir, I also agree with the initial part of your lecture that after the COVID, everything has changed with regards to teaching. This is something that I felt personally.
No, that's what I think, ma'am. We have to change our own kind of strategy also. And that's what I'm saying.
If I could add, the experiences of the teachers, like Madam was telling, I think we are dealing with very different generation right now. So that must be one of the reasons, sir.
Maybe. Yeah. Anyone else? Or if not, there are questions, then
Yes, yes,
yeah,
sir.
please.
My name is Dr.
Hi.
Gangu.
Dr.
When
Anil
you are
Kumar,
explaining,
just a moment, just a moment.
Please.
Dr. Anil
Hello.
Kumar, roll number 41, please mute yourself.
ma'am,
Roll number
my name is
41, Anil Kumar.
Yeah, please, doctor.
Please mute yourself. It is disturbing. Yes, Dr. Gangu, please continue.
yeah. Sir, very good afternoon, sir. Once again, sir. Here, thing is that you have taken one example, Bharat Muni.
Yeah.
Okay, is spoken about Muni and how they contributed, especially is spoken about sattvic emotions. Already, ma'am asked the same question.
Yeah.
So in India, like sorry to say, but you mentioned that point, like all this Indian knowledge system, which is not related to any religion, right, sir? It is very sensible question, sir, because we said we should not talk about any religion, in India. But the thing is that in India, but if you see and like starting era from here, all people like everyone is belong to Hindu and after that converted to different religions. We should not talk about it. The thing is that the knowledge what we gained from the religion of Hindu only, from there Munis also they taught to their students, and from there we learn. After that, continuously what happened that we started adopting Western culture. When different people they came into our country and we started adopting all the things. But the roots are from the Hindu religion, right, sir? I don't know. I'm having questioned this one. No one answered still. What I want to say, if as a Indian, like we are having roots from the religions, like we can say from Hindu, because those days there is no teacher. Only Munis, as you said, you have given example, Bharat Muni.
Yeah.
Like there are many Munis are there. They used to talk to the persons from the religion aspect only. So after that, when we started adopting Western culture, when people came into our country, we started adopting other thing also.
Yeah.
So in
I'll
between,
answer.
everything, yes, everything changed in between. But the thing is that
I got it.
what you said is it? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank
I
you.
got your question.
Yes, sir.
Remember one
Yes,
thing.
sir.
As I said to you, that Indian knowledge system, what you are talking about is basically from Hindu culture. Again, I am saying that you are talking about Hindu religion. There is no specific religion called Hindu. Let me tell you very frankly. This is a very deep-rooted discussion that we can have. There is no specific religion called Hindu. There is different kind of varnashram which follows their own methods. Bharat Muni was not considered as Brahmin. Let me make it very clear to you. Although he wrote Pancham Veda, that is Natya Shastra. If you read the religious text talk about that the performance can be done by Shudras only. Shudras and Ati Shudras. Brahmins are not supposed to perform. And if a Brahmin is performing, then he is not considered as Brahmin. This is what the theology talks about. And Bharat Muni is not considered as Brahmin because it talks about performance. Performance is a duty of Shudras, not Brahmin, not Kshatriya, not Vaishya. It is the duty of Shudras to entertain, to tell the people about what is the life. Taking it from Brahmin text, they are delivering it. I'll give one example. That Abhigyan Shakuntalam, the very famous play of Kalidas, one of the major texts in Sanskrit literature. Abhigyan Shakuntalam, and for your understanding, for you, when you are saying that when all those things come, we lost all the things, naturally the flow of time changes all the things. And the flow of time has changed the thing. That's why we are trying to understand it and we are adopting it from new perspective because your culture makes you to understand certain things related with your own life. Now, Abhigyan Shakuntalam is a play written in not one language. I mean, when I'm saying it is not written in one language, it doesn't mean that it is written in different versions. in only one drama, there are 7 languages. It is multilingual drama. And Sanskrit drama is multilingual drama. So the Sanskrit language is used for the character of Vidushaka only in Abhigyan Shakuntalam. Rest of the characters, they are speaking Prakrit, Pali, Magadhi, Ardha Magadhi, Marathi, Ardha Marathi. These are the 7 languages used in only one drama. Each character is speaking according to his own language, according to his own stratification. If he belongs to Vaishya, if he belongs to other community, he has to speak his own language. So the language stratification makes you to understand that which caste this person belongs to. That means Sanskrit is very rarely used because Brahmins are not allowed to perform on the stage. So Vidushak is the only person who used to speak Sanskrit. And Vidushak is a Brahmin who is kept out of the society because he is performer. That means the Indian knowledge system is related with the kind of culture that you are living with. And at that time, the culture is of different kind. The word Hindu came very after into our existence. So this is again a kind of confusion that we are carrying. Hindu is a word came after so many years. It is an Indian civilization. It is not Hindu civilization. When we talk about an Indian civilization, if you read, and that's why if you understand, when I started my lecture at the beginning, I said in the human civilization, in anthropology, the 3 civilization it talks about: Mesopotamian civilization, Greek civilization, and Indian civilization. It never tells that Indian civilization means Hindu civilization. I hope that I try to make it clear to you.
Ji, sir. I think our next speaker is waiting. So
I'm
I'm so
encroaching
sorry
his
to
time.
interrupt, sir.
Yeah, please, please,
So
please.
we will go for a formal vote of thanks.
Yeah, a very good afternoon, one and all. So as I told you in the previous session also, and before starting any event and as well ending the event, we have to remember the persons who support to us. So, and the persons like resource persons, they contributed many things to all the participants. They are, pouring their knowledge onto all participants. We thank each and every person. Today's resource person, Professor Khan sir, and thank you so much. You accepted our request and you gave a very good lecture. And that one is many people interacted with you. This was very wonderful lecture, sir. Thank you once again. And we need again in next session also. I request ma'am, Madhuri ma'am, please arrange one more session with sir because he has given very good lecture and people also having many doubts. We should interact with the same person, ma'am. We request you and thank you so much, Gaurav sir, as
This
well as
is,
Dr.
I
Madhuri
have to
ma'am.
ask
Because
Mustajib Khan, sir. Khan, sir, the participants, they want your one more lecture. Sir, आप
because we
है?
have to discuss.
Yeah, Bob. How
Yes,
can I
sir.
say
And
about that?
because
Yeah. Let
yes, sir.
us.
It is. Yes, sir. Everyone, everyone followed your lecture, sir. They followed as well as they wrote all the points. Even I wrote many points here because how can I remember about Bharat Muni? Because we have taken many examples here. When one person from Kerala, ma'am, asked about that emotions, immediately I remember that Bharat Muni, which you explained clearly. So it is very wonderful lecture, sir. Thank you so much. And you spent some time with us as well as you gave some knowledge to all the participants, sir. Thank you once again, sir. And Badri ma'am as well as Gaurav sir, both of thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, आने के लिए. Thank you so much for. It was wonderful having you here in this refresher course. Okay, so I'll just check with the last resource persons of today's refresher course. Just a moment. Can you see Professor Mohinder Chand? Just let me know. I don't see him. Can you all see him, participants?
Yes.
Is he there?
No, ma'am, no.
Not yet. He is joining soon. Who is going to give the introduction? इंट्रोडक्शन कौन देने वाले हैं मोहिंदर चंद सर का?
गुड इवनिंग।
नमस्कार सर।
नमस्कार मैडम।
कैसे हो सर आप? सर वी कैन नॉट, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है सर। नहीं सर, अभी भी नहीं आ रही है सर आवाज। कोऑर्डिनेटर्स गौरव सर, कैन यू प्लीज चेक?
Yes, sir. You can unmute themselves. I think. Just a minute.
आई थिंक ही इज अनम्यूटेड बट वी कैन नॉट हियर हिम। सर आप दिख तो रहे हो बट आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है सर।
सर कोई डिवाइस हो, आपके पास ईयरफोन वगैरह हो तो आप कनेक्ट कीजिए सर। आई थिंक सब टेक्निकल इशू होगा सर। यस। नो सर, नो सर।
सर अभी भी नहीं आ रही है सर आवाज।
सर यू कैन अनम्यूट, आप एक बार म्यूट कीजिए फिर से अनम्यूट कीजिए सर। नो सर।
नहीं सर, आई थिंक गौरव, आई थिंक ही कैन लीव एंड ज्वाइन अगेन।
यस
उससे
यस
थोड़ा
मैम।
फर्क पड़े। सर यू
यस।
कैन लीव द फोरम एंड अगेन ज्वाइन so that yeah.
Ma'am, this is Gongu. Anyone is giving introduction or should I give? No
हाँ।
one
I think
responded.
somebody is giving. हाँ, roll number I think 40.
Okay,
सर
ma'am.
तुम्ही देताय का? आप दे रहे हो रोल नंबर 40?
हाँ यस मैडम।
ओके ओके सर।
मॅडम चालू करू?
2 मिनिट थांबा सर, सर जॉईन होत आहे, 2च मिनिट.
ओके.
अब आ रही है आवाज?
जी सर आ रही है. नमस्कार सर.
नमस्कार जी.
हाँ नमस्कार सर. Sir, thank you so much for joining this refresher course. I'm very glad to have you in this forum as well as the participants. Sir is from Department of Tourism and Hotel Management, Kurukshetra University, and I know him since last I think 2 decades now. And sir is very active in research. As you all can see, he's having 120 plus publications, and he's the chief editor of one of the Scopus listed journal in India. I think this is the only one Scopus listed journal from tourism, and sir is the chief editor. I have seen him working very hard for this journal, and I hope his presence will make a difference to all the participants over here by enhancing their knowledge. I ask roll number 40 to please introduce him formally.
Yes, madam. Good evening, sir. My name is Mahle Madhu. Department of History. My college name is Dr. Padamrao Kadam, Sangli, Shivaji University. Resource personnel, Mohinder Chand, Professor and Faculty of Dean. Currently, Mohinder Chand, Faculty of Dean, Commerce and Management, Chairman, Department of Tourism and Historical Management, Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra,
Sir, it is
India.
hotel management. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Don't
It is not historical management. सर मी त्यांचं इंट्रोडक्शन देते एवढी मोठी चूक आम्ही नाही करू शकत सर मी देऊन टाकते त्यांचं इंट्रोडक्शन ठीक आहे प्रोफेसर मोहिंदर चंद सर इज करंटली डीन फॅकल्टी ऑफ कॉमर्स अँड मॅनेजमेंट अँड चेअरमॅन डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ टूरिझम अँड hotel management Kurukshetra University Kurukshetra India. He has also served as professor School of Tourism Travel and Hospitality Management Central University of Himachal Pradesh Dharmashala since 2022 to 2023. Dr. Mohinder Chand joined the Department of Tourism and Hotel Management, Kurukshetra University as lecturer in November 1993 and became associate professor in the same department in January 2006 and subsequently joined as professor in January 2009. Dr. Mohinder's teaching interest has been in tourism management, hotel management, HRM, that is human resource management, in hospitality finance, accounting, and hospitality strategic management. As part of his research program, Dr. Mohinder has guided 21 PhD students and 9 MPhil students. Dr. Mohinder has published more than 121 research papers in tourism and hospitality, journals and other journals and books of international repute. Dr. Mohinder has authored and co-edited 14 books such as International Tourism and Hospitality in Digital Age, that was published in 2015 by IGI Publication USA. Opportunities and Challenges for Tourism and Hospitality in the BRIC Nations in 2016, IGI Publications USA, and International Travel and Tour Operations Management 2019, IGI Global Publication USA. Artificial Intelligence and Emotional Intelligence in Modern Business Management in 2023, that was again in IGI Global Publication USA, and Leveraging Artificial Intelligence and Emotional Intelligence in Contemporary Business Management, which was published in 2024, again in IGI Global Publication USA. Presently, he is, like I have already said, he is editor of International Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Systems, which is a Scopus Index journal. Dr. Mohinder is also serving as editorial board member of various international and national journals. He received his PhD degree from Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla. He is Vice President, Indian Tourism and Hospitality Congress, and also General Secretary of Indian Hospitality Congress. So with this brief introduction, sir, I welcome you to this forum and I request you to please start your lecture.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. At the outset, I would like to thank Professor Madhuri Samar, course coordinator of UGC Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center, or Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, and her team for inviting me, giving me an opportunity to speak on some relevant topic related with the NEP and IKS. And I also thankful to the participants, those who are participating in the refresher course. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. I'm just showing my slide.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible?
हाँ sir, visible है sir.
Okay. This is my today's presentation. In fact, in a refresher course, most of the teachers, they are teaching different type of subject, and they might have introduced NEP system in their respective department and respective colleges, or as well as the universities. So I am going to speak something about these things, how the NEP is implemented and what is the impact of Indian knowledge system, and how the AI and digital technology is also assisting us to go ahead. So topic is strategic thinking and navigation in the age of AI and digital disruption through the Indian knowledge system NEP to 2020 perspective. So in this topic, we are going to cover the certain subtopic, like first is introduction, second is overview of the evolving IKS landscape, then Indian knowledge system as a foundation for strategic thinking, digital disruption, navigating challenges with Indian knowledge system, then the role of NEP 2020 in bridging AI with Indian knowledge system, synergy of IKS with AI and emerging technology, then the future vision, education, and the evolving society. Then last is what is next, where it is going. So I'm going to discuss briefly the introduction part of this. That is it audible or not?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
audible,
sir.
sir,
Yes, sir.
audible.
Yes.
Audible,
Yes, sir,
sir.
audible.
Please continue.
Okay, so the first part is introduction. So, friends, I know that we all are aware that since long, Western education concept and the literature have dominated the thinking of many academicians as well administrators and the society globally, and developing countries, developing nations are no exception in this context. In fact, the arrival of colonization disrupted the people's cultural beliefs and tradition, which perhaps promoted the concept of colonized education. People were developed on Western concepts and practices. This has not created the healthy conditions for nurturing Indian indigenous concept or practices, which has not hold with Indian ethos and social background, which is reflected in our Indian indigenous texts. We know that the Western education system has one dimension, that is skill only. When we see the Indian knowledge system, IKS, then it has the multiple dimensions like skill plus values plus wisdom. Indians believe in IKS because it represents a fusion of cultural pride, lived effectiveness, holistic worldview, ethical guidance, and civilizational continuity. It is not blind faith, what a confidence rooted in centuries of experience, now increasingly supported by the modern validations. We have validated, most of the researchers, they have validated about the Indian IKS system. In such an environment, how to prepare students to think strategically about rapidly changing world and to develop an understanding among the students for both traditions and innovation. These issues have motivated me to think about this topic. This is the triangle of whole presentation. So the first thing, the triangle shows the three essential pillars. The one is IKS foundation, that is ethics, holism, sustainability. Then the second triangle is the technological competency, that is AI, digital fluency. Then strategic foresight, that is coupled with, that is guided by the NEP 2020 innovation, global competitiveness. So this is the triangle. Within this, our presentation is focusing. Let us now moving towards overview of the evolving IKS landscapes. Introduction to IKS. We all know, maybe the previous participants, they might have discussed this concept with you people. So I think that right now you may be aware about this concept. So despite that, I'm just touching the IKS landscape. IKS refers to the diverse and vast body of knowledge, practice, and wisdom from Indian ancient culture and intellectual heritage. It includes the philosophy, science, art, technology, and governance system like Dharma, Artha, and Karma, focusing on human life, societal values, ethics, and sustainability. Integrating the IKS holistic and multidisciplinary approaches in education can cultivate not only academic and practical skills, but also emotional intelligence, critical thinking, innovation, and cultural awareness. These skills are essential for students to thrive in an interconnected and complex world, and they build a strong foundation for personal as well as professional success. IKS landscape is evolving from being seen as ancient tradition to becoming a strategic pillar of modern education, innovation, and global sustainability, especially under NEP 2020 and its forward-looking integration with AI. Indian knowledge system represent traditional, cultural, and community-based wisdom, which is rooted in holistic worldviews, ethics, ecology, health practices, language, and sustainable living. In India, IKS is being revived as a key pillar of education and research, especially through NEP. NEP is used the medium or moderator or mediating for the IKS. Now the question is that how the Indian knowledge system is grounding education with cultural heritage, ethics, and holistic worldview in today's context. IKS ensures that while students adapt to modern innovation like AI, globalization, digitalization, they remain rooted in Indian traditions, values, and sustainable living practices such as. Now we are going to discuss how Indian system is grounded in education with the ancient texts. The first thing is that is the cultural heritage. Here, IKS connects learners with India's civilizational depth, like lexical language and text. Sanskrit, Tamil, Pali, Prakrit, and regional language are being reintroduced so students can assess ancient source of wisdom. Second, indigenous sciences, mathematics, concept of zero, Vedic mathematics, astronomy, architecture, medicines are integrated into course curricula to highlight India's scientific contribution. Next, arts and aesthetics, Indian music, dance, painting, storytelling traditions like Panch and Tantra nurture creativity while linking students to cultural roots. Then, documentation and preservation. IKS initiate digitalize the manuscript of local cultural heritage. With the help of this, we can documentation and preserve all the manuscripts which are related with the local cultural heritage. Then ethics and values. IKS provides a strong ethical foundation for modern education. Dharma-based learning focus on moral responsibility, justice, and fairness as found in texts like the Bhagavad Gita. Next, environmental ethics. Ancient practices emphasize sustainability related with the rivers, related with the forests, related with the animals, aligning with the today's climate goals. Then holistic personality development. Yoga, meditation, and mindfulness are introduced to balance mental health, discipline, and empathy. Then the community orientation, the values of cooperation, respect for elders, teachers, and serve the nurture social responsibility. That is the seva for the social society. Then worldview. IKS broadened the purpose of education beyond just employment. Earlier, we were thinking about only the employment, linking the education with the employment. Now we are not only thinking with employment, we are also thinking with different background that is related with the Indian knowledge system. Suppose that is integration of heart, head, and hand. That is the intellectual, emotion, spiritual, and action-oriented approaches create balanced individual. It means that today we are IPS is helping us to integrate head, heart, and hand in order to create the balanced. Then interdisciplinary learning. Ancient systems did not separate the science, art, and ethics. They taught astronomy alongside philosophy or medicine with spirituality. It means that under NEP, we have to study the different other disciplines. We can study the art with science, we can study commerce and other things along with the ethics. So we have lot of things, and we have the complete baskets, that is interdisciplinary learnings. The well-being and harmony focus is not just on economic growth, what on harmony with self, society, and nature. Then global outlook with local roots. By studying India's contributions and philosophies, learners gain confidence in their identity while engaging with global knowledge system. Then global evaluation of IKS, growing recognition in UNESCO frameworks for sustainable development. What are the sustainable goals are there? We will discuss later on that. These are there. So this is also UNESCO has this system is also incorporated and recognized the acceptance of that. Integration of IKS in climate change, adaptation, biodiversity conservation, and sustainable agriculture. Then international collaboration, merging traditional wisdom with the modern science. Influence of Indian knowledge system. NEP 2020 has made IKS integration a key focus. Its influence can be seen as first thing is that is the curriculum integration. Textbooks now include content on yoga, Ayurveda, Indian mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy, etc. Then the language and literature, emphasis on the teaching classical Indian language, maybe the Sanskrit or maybe regional language. So different type of things are promoting at the language and literature level. Ethics and value, I care. Promote holistic learning, focusing on character building, sustainability, and harmony with nature. Then the traditional knowledge in modern context, for example, linking Ayurveda with the modern medicine research, or Vedic mathematics with the computation skills. Then the research centers and initiatives. The Ministry of Education has created the IKS division under AICTE to promote project research curriculum development based on indigenous knowledge. Then global relevance of this. IKS is positioned as India's intellectual contribution to the world, blending tradition with innovations. Now, the Indian knowledge system as a funder for strategic thinking. How it is the pillar for the strategic thinking. Why we need the strategic thinking. So, Indian knowledge system as a foundation for strategic thinking offers a unique and profound framework for approaching complex problems, making decisions, and navigating the modern world, especially in the context of rapid technological change and disruptions. Rooted in India's rich intellectual and cultural heritage, IKS provides a holistic, interconnected perspective on life, society, and the natural world. How IKS can serve as a strong foundation for thinking, strategic thinking. So these points are going to illustrate that IKS is a strong pillar for the strategic thinking. The first thing is that holistic system thinking, interconnectedness. One of the core principles in many Indian philosophies is the idea that everything in the universe is interconnected. This holistic view, seen in systems like Vedanta and Sankhya, encourages strategic thinkers to consider the entire ecosystem, whether economic, social, environmental, or technological, when making decisions instead of focusing on isolated parts. This system approach helps identifying and address the long-term impacts of a strategy, because we are taking into consideration the indigenous taxes and that they are guiding us to making the decision. The decisions are not for the short period, the decisions are for the long period. So it is a long period sustainability. Then the diversity and balance. IKS encourages the understanding and inclusion of multi perspectives, often valuing the diversity and the balance between the opposing forces, Shiva and Shakti, Ursa and Prakriti. These are the example. In strategic thinking, this means considering all stakeholders, embracing diverse viewpoints, and recognizing the dynamic tension between the different forces to arrive at balanced and sustainable solution. Then adapting and flexible thinking. Samsara, that is the cyclical time. The concept of samsara, the cyclical nature of the time and existence, underscore the idea of constant change and renewal. Strategic thinker who embrace this concept understand that nothing is static and adaptation is key to success. In the face of digital disruption and AI, IKS teaches us that strategies should be dynamic, flexible, and able to evolve with changing circumstances rather than rigid or fixed. Then next, Prakriti evolutionary principle. In the Sankhya philosophy, Prakriti nature is constantly in a state of flux, evolving and transforming. In terms of strategy, this reflects the need for constant learning, adaptation, and innovation. A leader or a strategist influenced by IKS would prioritize the continual improvement, learning from mistakes, and embracing the change as part of a broader developing process. Then ethical decision making. We already studied that dharma, astha, and karma. Central to many Indian philosophies is the concept of dharma, which refers to the ethical duty or the moral path. In strategic thinking, this idea encourages decision making that aligns with a sense of greater purpose, collective good, and ethical responsibility. For example, strategic decision in AI development, business, or policy making could be informed by ensuring they promote fairness, justice, and respect for human dignity. Then, ahimsa, non-violence. It is the practice of non-violence and only in action, what also in thoughts and words. It means that this practice is not only in action, what it is also in thoughts and word. For strategic thinking, this is a guiding principle to avoid harm to others in the pursuit of objective. When we are pursuing the different type of objectives of the business, it means the earth planet should be given the priorities. Whether in business strategy, governance, or technology development, a strategic approach grounded in ahimsa seeks to minimize the harm, foster cooperation, and create positive outcomes for all involved. Then next is satya, that is the truth. Satya or truthfulness underscores the importance of transparency, honesty, and integrity. In the modern context, strategic thinkers influenced by IKS but ensure that their actions are aligned with the truth and integrity, especially in the world with misinformation and manipulation. Because right now, you know that the information, what type of informations are there spreading or through the social media, or maybe the manipulation of things that are. So this IKS is helping us to cope with these changes. Then sustainability and long-term thinking. Sustainability in nature and society. IKS has always emphasized living in harmony with nature and maintaining the balance between human activities and environmental preservation. Like the Mahatma Gandhi inspired Sarvodaya, the welfare of all principle encourages thinking beyond the individual and immediate gains and considering the well-being of the future generation. Then artha and karma. The artha, prosperity, and karma, action. Philosophy stresses that the wealth and success should not be pursued at the expense of ethical conduct and societal welfare. Strategic thinkers inspired by IKS would ensure that their pursuits of profit or success are in harmony with the long-term prosperity and sustainability of the society, economy, and the environment. It means that profits should not be earned at the cost of Earth planet. Integrating the knowledge from multiple disciplines. We already discussed that in IKS there is an interdisciplinary research, the couple of different types of other subjects. There is a basket of different disciplines. IKS values the integration of various domains of knowledge. For example, the ancient Indian education system, that is the Gurukul model, was holistic, where students learned not just about the science, math, and literature, but also about the ethics, governance, spirituality, and art. Strategic thinkers rooted in IKS would benefit from an interdisciplinary approach that does not silo knowledge but sees connection across different fields. In today's context, this would involve integrating AI, technology, economics, philosophy, psychology, and culture into a unified strategic vision. Because every organization has a strategic vision. And if we incorporate all these things in the strategic vision, we will be able to develop the holistic approach we can use. Then Jnana and Vijnana, this knowledge and applied knowledge. Indian wisdom makes a distinction between the theoretical knowledge as well as the practical application of knowledge. Two type of knowledge is there, theoretical knowledge is there, and practical application of that knowledge is there. Strategic thinkers must not only understand the theory, but also know how to apply that knowledge effectively in the real world. Whether it's in AI development, business strategy, governance, both the theoretical underpinning and the practical outcomes are crucial. Then leadership and governance model, Raj Dharma. The concept of Raj Dharma means the duty of the rulers, provides a unique model of leadership and governance. It emphasizes that leaders should act in the best interest of the people, prioritizing justice, compassion, and equity. In a strategic context, this highlights the importance of the ethical leadership that puts people and the greater good about above self-interest or short-term profit. It means that the ethical leaders should promote more for the people rather than self-interest or the short-term interest. Then next is the very important part is that is leader as a servant. Our prime minister many times addressed that I am the servant of 140 crore peoples. So Maybe the concept is already existing in our indigenous text, that is Bhagavad Gita. Many Indian texts, including the Bhagavad Gita, speak of the leaders as someone who serves others, not someone who seeks power for its own sake. In modern strategic thinking, this translates into a model of leadership that is people-centric model, values, service, and promotes the well-being of the society over individuals. Then self-reflections and continuous learning. Yoga and meditation. The practice of yoga and dhyana meditation are integral to self-awareness and self-reflection. These are two aspects which are helping us for self-awareness and self-reflection. Strategical thinking, when informed by these practices, involves not just rational decision making, but also emotional intelligence, intuition, and the ability to present in the moment. Leaders and strategists who engage in self-reflection are better able to navigate complex, high-stress environment and make more mindful, ethical decisions. Because in many organizations, if you go to corporate sector, they are also incorporating yoga and meditation. That is maybe the spiritual training they are providing. So, next, self-knowledge. Knowledge of self is another key aspect of IKS, suggesting that strategic thinkers must first understand themselves, their strengths, weaknesses, vices, and motivations before they can effectively lead or make sound decisions. A deep sense of self-awareness allows for more authentic leadership and better strategic insights. The self-knowledge is closely associated with the employees as well as the teachers. Then strategic use of technology, advancing through the innovation with integrity. IKS promotes the use of knowledge and technology for the greater good. The concept of Vigyan, that is science and technology within IKS, shows with clear understanding of technology. It is meant to serve society, improve human life, and preserve harmony with nature. In the digital age, this perspective can guide the development and deployment of AI, robotics, and other technology to align with ethical standards and social equalities. Indian knowledge system provide a deep ethical and interconnected foundation for strategic thinking, one that values long-term sustainability, ethical decision making, adaptability, and holistic problem solving, drawing from the wisdom of ancient Indian philosophies and practices. Strategists can build more balanced, inclusive, and ethical framework to tackle modern challenges, including those posed by AI and digital disruptions. Through the integration of IKs, today's leaders can create solutions that are not only effective but also respectful of humanity, society, and environment. Now, our next part is that is how the digital disruption navigating challenges with Indian knowledge system. Digital disruption driven by advancements in artificial intelligence, automation, blockchain, and other technology has transformed nearly every sector of the society. While it offers immense potentials for the progress, it also brings significant challenges, job displacement like ethical dilemmas, social inequalities, privacy concerns, and environmental sustainability issues. These are the few challenges which technology is giving us. Indian knowledge system with their holistic, ethical, and interconnected approach offer a powerful tool to navigate these challenges. Rooted in centuries of wisdom, IKS provides strategies for resilience, balance, and adaptation that can guide both individuals and societies through the complexities of a rapidly changing digital landscape. Balancing traditional with technological innovation. Traditional knowledge as an anchor. IKS emphasizes the importance of traditions, whether it is in the form of wisdom, art, philosophy, or the governance system, while also encouraging adaptation and evolution. In the face of digital disruption, this idea can serve as a stabilizing force, helping societies to embrace technological change while maintaining a connection to their cultural roots. Then sustainably through the balance, just as IKS stresses the need to maintain balance in all aspects of life. It advocates for technologies that are aligned with sustainable development. The challenge of digital disruptions, particularly in the field like AI and automation, is to ensure that innovation does not overshadow the environment, social justice, or cultural values. IKS reminds us that technology should not be viewed in isolation, but as a part of larger interdependent system that must be managed responsibly. Resilience and adaptability in the face of disruption. Samsara cyclical nature of change. IKS understand change as an it is permanent, it is inevitable. Cyclical, the concept of samsara or the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth teaches that disruptions are not categorical, but part of an ongoing transformation. When applied to the digital disruption, this mindset encourages us to see challenges not to setback, what an opportunity to learning, growth, and reinvent. The disruptions of the job market, for instance, should be seen as a shift in roles and industries, not a permanent loss. So sometimes we are, according to the our cyclical nature or samsara, this is the cycle. We can't say this cycle will end. This cycle will continue. Prakriti and adaptation. According to Sankhya philosophy, Prakriti, the natural world, is always evolving and adapting to the external influences. Similarly, societies must adapt to technological changes and embrace them as part of their revolutionary journey. By drawing on the principle of IKS, individuals and organizations can build resilience, developing skills, mindsets, and systems that are flexible, forward thinking, and capable of evolving in with the technology evolving, developing with the technological changes, adjusting with the technological changes, etc. Addressing inequality, IKS, and inclusive digital transformation. Now, how the society, social system, social equality is looking this. One of the most significant concerns of the digital disruption is the widening the inequality gap between those who have access to technology and those who do not have, between skilled workers and those who are displaced, and between urban and rural population. IKS offers valuable insights for addressing these imbalances. The Sarvodaya principle, the welfare of all, encourages a digital transformation that prioritizes social equality. IKS would advocate for ensuring that AI, automation, and other digital technology are used to uplift marginalized communities, maybe backward community, maybe tribal communities also, provide accessible education and create inclusive economic opportunities. Then Gyan, knowledge for all. IKS places a strong emphasis on knowledge dissemination for the collective good. The Gurukul system of education, where knowledge was shared without discrimination, can inform modern efforts to ensure that digital literacy reaches all segments of the society, not just the elite. Initiatives to provide digital tools and educational resources to underserved, underserved communities would be aligned with this vision of inclusivity. Ethical consideration guiding AI and digital innovation with IKS. Dharma. This is the ethical duty. Ethical duty is a central tenet in IKS. It asks what is the right action in this context in a world where AI and automation challenge traditional norms of work, privacy, and decision making. IKS offers a framework for ensuring that technological progress aligns with the ethical standards. For example, how AI is deployed in decision making processes, whether in healthcare, education, criminal justice, should be guided by the principles of fairness, justice, and equity. IKS would argue that technology should uplift human dignity and promote collective welfare, not reinforce vices or inequalities among the people. Then ahimsa, non-violence. The principles of ahimsa can be extended to digital ethics. It suggests that the deployment of AI and other technology should minimize the harm, not just in terms of physical violence, but also in the impact on mental health, social structure, and the environment. For example, AI system must be designed to avoid harm to the deprived communities and should operate in ways that promote psychological well-being and societal harmony among the communities. Then Satya. It emphasizes the importance of transparency, accuracy, and integrity in an era where misinformation and deflects threatens to undermine the trust. AI and digital systems should be designed to prioritize the truth, ensuring that data is used responsibly and the information provided to society is accurate, reliable, understandable, and comparable. Developing, enhancing the innovation with cultural sensitivity, creativity, and innovation rooted in tradition. IKS values creativity not as a break from the tradition, but as an extension of it. If we see the Indian philosophical tradition, we will find that such as we can say Vedanta and Sankhya emphasize the importance of creative thoughts in understanding the world. By drawing on this rich tradition, IKS advocates for innovation that is not just technologically advanced, but also culturally sensitive. Innovations, especially in AI, should be designed with respect for the cultural values and diversity. This allows for a global local fusion using modern tools like AI while respecting and incorporating the local wisdom and traditional knowledge. Then AI and local wisdom. IKS could encourage AI systems that are culturally and contextually relevant. For example, AI in healthcare could be integrated traditionally with Indian medical practices like Ayurveda alongside Western medicine to provide a more holistic approach to health. Similarly, in agriculture, when we talk about agriculture, AI could be used to modernize the traditional farming practices, making them more efficient while maintaining the ecological sustainability. Navigating data driven age. This is basically a very sensitive part, that how the collective knowledge is going to navigate the data. IKS has long advocated for the collective sharing of information knowledge, unlike the Western model of individual ownership of idea. IKS can provide guidance for the data privacy, the idea that communities rather than the individual or corporations should control their data and knowledge. This principle could lead to more ethical data governance model, which where data is not extracted or exploited without regard to its cultural or physical societal significance. The knowledge and wisdom. IKS makes a distinction between the theoretical knowledge, and this already we have discussed that in this context of AI and big data. IKS would caution that while raw data is valuable, it is the wisdom derived from the understanding and interpreting that data in the ethical, context driven manner that truly benefits society. It is not just about accumulating data, what understanding its deeper significance for human life, well being, and societal progress. This is specifically how the Indian knowledge system is considered as strategic lens. So we have offered in framework to navigate this. Dharma, that is ethics and duties. AI ethics, responsible innovation, relevance in AI. Then strategic contribution, guides value-based AI development. Then Arthashastra, strategy and governance. We know that around 4 we see. The one book is written, that is Arthashastra, right? So that was related with the political setup. So the economic disruption, digital policies, long-term foresight and resilience. This is the strategic vision. Yoga and Ayurveda. That is the mental health, work-life balance. And strategic contribution is the stress, resilience, human-centered, and well-beings. Then Nyaya and logical system, logarithms, rational decision-making, relevance for AI. Then its strategic contribution is enhancing the critical and logical thinking. Then environmental wisdom, the climate tech, sustainable AI, green technology and eco ethics. Then Gurukul pedagogy, experiential learning, holistic learning, the relevance in AI is. Then strategic contribution integrates AI with holistic human development. Now we are moving towards the how the NEP 2020 is bridging, how it is relating with the AI and Indian knowledge system. So many authors might have discussed about the AI, NEP. So just we are highlighting the few things of NEP, then identifying its role in bridging AI with Indian knowledge system. The NEP 2020 aims to restore and integrate India's educational heritage with modern knowledge by adopting the holistic and multidisciplinary education, rootedness, value-based education, and critical thinking in contextual perspective. The National Education Policy 2020 presents a transformative vision for India's education system, emphasizing the holistic, multidisciplinary, and inclusive learning while aiming to bridge the gap between traditional knowledge and the modern advancements. The vision becomes especially relevant in the context of artificial intelligence, AI, and its increasing impact on the society. Integrating the Indian knowledge system with AI through NEP 2020 can offer a unique and grounded perspective, ensuring that technological advancements align with India's cultural and ethical values. Let us explore how NEP 2020 can serve as bridge between AI and Indian knowledge system, and how it can shape the future of education, innovation, and societal advancement. First, the foundation in NEP 2020, holistic multidisciplinary education, it integrating the technology with ethics, art, and culture. Rootedness in IKS, reviving the traditional wisdom in science, environment, healthcare, and ethics. 21st century skills, critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, digital literacy, the flexibility and lifelong learning, choice-based curriculum, vocational integration, AI-ready skills. Now, IKS in India's education reforms. National Education NEP 2020 emphasizes IK as a part of holistic multidisciplinary education. Establishment of IKS division by the Ministry of Education and AICT in 2020 to promote the curriculum development and research. Universities introduced the courses in Ayurveda, yoga, Vedic mathematics, astronomy, Indian language, literature, and philosophy, traditional agricultural practice, environmental ethics. A lot of courses right now introduced by the various universities under this system. So let us just go for the how it is integrating holistic and multidisciplinary education, integrating IKS with AI. One of the core principles of NEP 2020 is to promote a multidisciplinary approach to education. We already discussed that interdisciplinary as well the multidisciplinary. This is the multiple entry or multiple exit point is there. AI, traditionally seen as a technical discipline, is now being integrated with subjects like philosophy, ethics, social sciences, and humanities. This provides an opportunity to infuse Indian knowledge system into the course curriculum alongside modern disciplines like AI, data science, and machine learning. For example, while AI courses often focus on technical skills, NEP 2020 encourages teaching in ethical implications of AI through the lenses of IKS concepts such as dharma, ahimsa, satya. Then the next is balanced education. NEP 2020's vision is to provide students with both technical proficiency and ethical understanding, ensuring that they are not only skilled in technology but also sensitive to its broader societal impacts. IKS, with its emphasis on holistic understanding, will help students see the interconnectedness of technology, society, and nature. Ethical AI development through IKS. Dharma in AI ethics. The concept of dharma in IKS, which emphasizes the clear-cut action, righteous actions, fairness, and the common good, can offer a strong ethical framework for AI development. In a rapidly advancing digital age, AI systems often face moral dilemmas such as biasness in algorithms, privacy concern, or the automation of jobs. By embedding the dharma into AI education, NEP 2020 ensured that next generation of AI professionals understand the importance of moral integrity in their work. For example, we can say training AI system to avoid bias and promote fairness can be grounded in the IKS concept of justice, nyaya, which emphasizes the fairness in the decision-making processes also. Then ahimsa, the principle of ahimsa which promotes non-violence in action, speech, and thoughts, offering crucial ethical guidelines in AI. AI system, especially in areas like military science, surveillance, and social media, can potentially harm individuals or communities. Integrating the HINSA into AI research and development ensures that these technologies are used responsibly without causing harm or injustice to the society or to the individuals. Reviving indigenous knowledge through AI. AI as a tool for preserving IKS. One of the goals of NEP 2020 is to preserve and promote India's cultural heritage and indigenous knowledge. AI can serve as a tool to digitalize, catalog, and make traditional knowledge more accessible. For example, AI can help documentation of ancient texts, oral traditions, and folk knowledge, creating the digital libraries that are accessible worldwide, while ensuring that this knowledge is preserved for future generations. For example, the integration of AI and IKS could result in AI systems that help translate and interpret the Sanskrit text, ancient script, and the works of the philosophy, making them more accessible to the modern audience, especially in the educational setting. Next, fusing traditional practices with modern tech. AI can help traditional systems such as Ayurveda and Siddha by analyzing the vast data sets of herbal medicines and treatment outcomes. NEP 2020 encourages the interdisciplinary approaches, using AI to bring traditional knowledge into the contemporary applications such as healthcare, agriculture, sustainability, and other areas of the society. Then, building digital literacy and AI awareness. AI for all. Right now, we can't say that we are not adopting the technology. We have to adopt the technology. We have to use the technology because we don't have any option. The world is growing rapidly. Therefore, NEP 2020 stresses that importance of digital literacy across all stages of education. By incorporating AI education alongside IKS, students can learn to think critically about technology from multiple perspectives, both traditional and modern. This will enable a new generation to engage with AI more responsibly and creatively, understanding both the opportunities and challenges posed by this technology. For example, in schools, the introduction of basic AI concept can be accompanied by the lessons in Indian philosophy and ethics. This combination will help students not only learn how AI works, but also reflect on how it can be applied for the greater good in the socially responsible manner. AI literacy in rural areas. NEP 2020 also envisions expanding the digital literacy to rural and underserved communities. IKS, with its roots in local tradition and wisdom, can be used to build AI-based solutions that are more context sensitive, addressing the rural challenges like agriculture, water conservation, health, and many more, while respecting the local knowledge. Sustainable development goals and AI. Using AI for sustainable development. One of the ways AI can be aligned with IKS is by focusing on sustainability. NEP 2020's vision for sustainable education aligns with the principles of environmental conservation found in IKS, which advocates for living in harmony with nature. AI can be harnessed to create sustainable technology, optimize the energy use, reduce the waste, and improve agriculture practices while maintaining the ecological balance. For example, we can say AI can be employed in smart farming technology, combining traditional agriculture knowledge with advanced AI technology to improve yield, conserve the resources, and promote environmentally friendly practices. next circular economy through AI. India's traditional knowledge systems emphasize the concept like the circulatory processes, cycles in nature. By applying AI to enhance circle, circular economies where waste is minimized and resources are reused, India can make a strong case for integrating the modern technology with traditional sustainable practices. Then interdisciplinary and holistic approach to innovations, bridging technology with humanization. NEP 2020 envisions an interdisciplinary education that connects technical skills with humanistic values, integrating the IKS with AI fosters this balance by ensuring that technology is not seen in isolation, but rather is a part of larger cultural, ethical, and spiritual ecosystem. Indian philosophy, with its deep insight into the nature of consciousness, ethics, and social order, provides a rich context for understanding the role of AI in human life. For example, courses that combine in today's courses under NEP, the human value courses are offered to the students. Courses that combine AI with Vedanta philosophy can explore questions such as what does it mean for the machine to be conscious, or how can AI align with human values like compassion, truth, and justice. This deep philosophical inquiry can lead to more thoughtful AI development that prioritizes the human value being, then fostering the innovation with cultural sensitivity. AI-driven innovation can often become more cultural and societal context, leading to the technological solution that may not fit the local context. NEP 2020, with its emphasis on the localization and regional language promotion, encourages a more culturally sensitive approach to technological innovation. Then IKS can guide the development of AI tools and applications that are relevant to the local needs, traditions, practices, whether in agriculture, education, governance, healthcare, or any other areas of the society. The policy and governance for AI, creating ethical AI policies. NEP 2020 encourages the policy-driven approach to the integration of the new technology in education and society. India's AI policy can benefit from the ethical and philosophical insights embedded in IKS. For example, the concept of Raj Dharma, the duty of rulers, can influence the governance around AI, ensuring that AI systems serve the collective welfare, equity, and justice of society. Like national AI strategies could be built around the values of Dharma and Ahimsa, ensuring that AI development is aligned with the principle of non-violence, equity, and human dignities. Conclusion related to this, the IKS is envisioned by NEP 2020 is not about returning to the past. It is not only stressing towards returning the past, but about reviving, preserving, and adapting India's rich knowledge heritage for future. It seeks to create education system rooted in Indian ethos while being globally competitive and forward-looking. NEP 2020 provides a crucial opportunity to integrate Indian knowledge system with AI in education, technology, governance by fusing the holistic, ethical, and sustainable principles of IKS with the rapidly advancing field of AI. India can create a model of education and development that is not only technologically advanced but also deeply grounded in its cultural values. This synergy between technology and tradition will prepare students and professionals to navigate the challenge of digital age while maintaining a sense of purpose, integrity, and human connections. Now, synergy of IKS with AI and emerging technology. AI tools are being developed to digitalize ancient manuscripts, local dialects, and oral traditions. Data analytics applied to Ayurveda, Vedic medicines research, and ethnobotany. AI-driven strategic thinking model inspired by Indian philosophical logic. Technology bridges IKS with global research, making it accessible worldwide. AI plus IKS, convergence. Interestingly, AI and IKS are not opposites. They can complement each other. Digitalization of ancient texts, AI helps preserve manuscripts and make them researchable, accessible globally. AI-powered translation tools can translate Sanskrit and regional text into the multiple languages. Research integration, AI can analyze the traditional medicine, medical, agriculture, and philosophical texts for insights relevant today. Holistic learning model, while AI personalizes the how of learning, IKS provides depth to the what and why of education. Recent practical implementation. UGC approved IKS courses in universities, colleges, schools, and other like the yoga, meditation, mathematics, etc. Even IIT, IM, they are also using the ethics, Indian philosophy, and sustainability in their course curriculum as elective subject. In school curriculum revision, they include Indian knowledge in science, culture, and environment. Even the research centers, they have also introduced the various IKS with the modern technologies, like in water management, maybe Ayurveda, material sciences, and other social sciences. Impacts and output, cultural grounding, strengthening the identity, ethics, and value-based education, innovation, blending traditional practices with AI and modern science for sustainable development. So it means that what are the outputs of this? Today we are moving towards this holistic worldviews, moving from a purely industrialized model of education to an integrative human-centric model. Global relevance, positioning India as a knowledge leader by exporting IKS-based solutions. Next part, future vision, education, and the evolution of society. Lifelong learnings. NEP 2020 emphasizes the importance of lifelong learning, which is critical in an era of AI-driven disruptions. As AI technologies evolve, the need for continuous upskilling and updation is paramount. IKS, with its emphasis on knowledge as a lifelong pursuit, complements this focus on emphasizing the importance of wisdom, self-reflection, and adaptability. The digital literacy. NEP focuses on digital literacy, particularly for disadvantaged community, can ensure that all segments of the societies are equipped to engage with the digital age. However, it should also incorporate cultural and ethical dimensions, drawing on IKS to ensure that AI is not just a tool for economic progress, but also for human flourishing. Global leadership in AI. Through NEP 20, India has the opportunity to lead the world in creating a model for AI that integrates both cutting edge technology and ancient wisdom, offering a unique approach to AI ethics, governance, and development. What is next? Where it is going? So, the last conclusion is there. What is next? Increasing use of AI and personalized adaptive learning system. More immersive learning like AR, artificial uh, AR or VR, simulations, etc. Augmented realities, virtual realities, and simulations. Greater accountability, learner-centric models, outcome-based assessment, more emphasis on lifelong learning, continuous skills, upskilling, and reskilling of the students as well as the others concerned. Stronger focus on inclusive and bridging the inequalities that is related with infrastructure, accessibility, gender, and other segment of the society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks so much. You have covered almost all the aspects of artificial intelligence, how it can be used in the IKS, and of course, definitely following the new education policy. Thank you so much for your insights, sir. We will just take questions if anybody is having. Participants?
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, sir, Dr. Gangu.
Hello, sir.
जी सर बोलिए सर.
Yeah, sir. Sir, in yesterday's session, one faculty like resource person said about that students should learn and practice and apply these three. So these three things, like students can develop through AI. Sir, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, we can
Yes, sir.
hear you, Dr. Gangu. You can please complete your question.
Okay.
Sir, yesterday's session, one faculty said that one student should learn and practice and apply. And all these elements students can adopt from AI, because AI cannot give directly all the things. It cannot do human what they're doing. I think, do you think that AI can be replaced with, faculty like?
No. I'm not focusing on that. I'm focusing
Yes,
on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just I'm asking question
AI
that. But
should
yesterday
be-
also we just yes, sir. Yesterday also we discussed with one faculty and we spoken. I know sir also explained about all these things. Learning, practice, and as well as applying all these areas. So I'm asking that when you are talking about AI.
No,
So
I'm
AI
talking about the AI, but I'm
Yes,
more
sir.
focusing on IKS.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's IKS,
AI,
but normal I'm asking question this.
AI, if we are going to use AI, because you know that right now we don't have any option whether we are going for AI or not. We have only one option, that we have to go AI. But it should be designed and developed according to the Indian knowledge system, so that it must have certain Indian values, and on the basis of that we can apply it. There is no harm.
And
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Gangu, if sir permits to answer me this question, definitely AI
Yes,
will
sir.
not be replaced by the teachers. We will need good teachers, So,
But
this
with
was
the
you are
help of,
asking in general.
we can use AI as a tool, but that
Yeah,
is designed
definitely,
Thank you.
according to
sir.
the Indian system.
जी sir, जी sir.
Sir, hello,
हाँ बोला sir.
hello. Sir, there is a different tools of AI is there, but only few are known for us, like Google AI Studio and ChatGPT. So, do you have an idea about few more tools which
No,
can be used in our academic?
actually, I think that there are a lot of tools, because you know that AI first developed in 1956. So the long journey of AI, lot of tools are there. Right now we have the lot of tools. So which tool is more relevant for you or not? Most of the people, they are using the chat GPT. Maybe the Google, they are using virtual reality, they are using the augmented reality, different type of things are there. it depends upon their use, on their requirements. But we can't say that we are wholly dependent on these tools, because we can't replace the human brain with these things. So basically, these are used to assist you rather than to replace you. These tools are assisting, basically increasing your efficiency and effectiveness. Basic purpose is that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, any question?
Do you have any other questions?
Actually, we are
Ji,
all
sir.
teachers. We are all teachers. Suppose right now I am discussing with you. If I was there, then what will be happen? If you are teaching in online, lot of difference is there. When you are teaching personally, so that will be a more interactive session. Otherwise, these type of things are there. We are using the AI. This is the part of the AI. We are using the AI. Otherwise, without teachers in the classroom, the AI is useless. Blackboards are useless. Different technological tools, they are useless. But we can't say that we are not using the AI, we are not using the modern technology, but we need to use the modern technology in order to change ourselves, to increase or enhance our efficiency. Because the environment is demanding such type of efficiency. What type of research we are doing? We are conducting various types of research. Earlier, we are sending the hard copy of the manuscript for the publication. Right now, there is no need to send these things. So, lot of changes are there, and maybe in the coming years, you will see the lot of changes in the classroom also.
Definitely, sir.
And I think we must be ready to accept these changes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. Your lecture was very, very innovative and very, very informative, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. We would formally like to give a vote of thanks. Participants, any of the participants can please go for vote of thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, one and all. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. So here today's resource person, today's lecture itself, spoke about this person. So, and first of all, we should thank on behalf of participants as well as university to today's resource person, Professor Mohinder Chand. And sir, your lecture is very good, sir. Actually, nowadays, AI, it is playing major role. First thing is that to learn as well as, it is changing the teaching pedagogy as well as the students, how we can handle it. Because before asking the question to the student identifying the problem also by using this AI. But it is not point here, but AI as well as IKS, Indian Knowledge System. So both how we can use it, that we explained very properly, sir. And thank you so much. Your lecture is very good. And then we thank especially to the Madhuri ma'am as well as university, because they brought very good resource persons to us. And what you throw the seeds into my brain, and definitely it will work. And we will use this what you taught definitely in our classroom. We will use it for student benefits, sir. Thank you once again, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank you very much, sir.